Anansi, the wise boy with a gift for stories and trickery. Marked from birth, Anansi uses wit and storytelling to solve problems, challenge power and share wisdom. Old Mother Amma, the village midwife and guardian of hidden truth. An elder who sees beyond the physical, she recognizes Anansi's destiny and honors ancestral wisdom. The priest, the voice of the gods and keeper of sacred order. He affirms Anansi's divine connection and guides the community's spiritual understanding. Chief Kwaku the Fat Belly, the greedy ruler blinded by power. A symbol of selfish leadership, his downfall teaches the value of honesty and generosity. The talking tree, the arrogant spirit that speaks but cannot learn. A mystical test of wisdom, silenced by Anansi's deeper understanding of fear and knowledge. Nyame, the sky father, the divine keeper of stories and eternal wisdom, the god who challenges Anansi to prove his worth, ultimately naming him guardian of storytelling. Aqua, the fierce friend with a sharp tongue and brave heart, Anansi's childhood companion who speaks her mind, defends the weak and helps him face danger with courage and loyalty. Tano the drummer, the wandering rhyme keeper who sees what others miss. A mysterious traveler whose drum speaks truth. His rhymes guide Anansi through moments of doubt and help carry stories across the land. So now, let's dive deep into the story. Anansi, the boy whose name was forever tied to wisdom. In the village of Adokrum, dwelling among the hills where the wind blew like flute through baobab trees, a child was born under a sky colored with red dust and gold. The midwife, old Mama Amma, bent over the newborn and gasped. On the boy's back was the faint silvery outline of a spider's web. "Hey," she whispered, "this child is no ordinary soul." Soon, the priest arrived, staff in hand, his eyes scanning the heavens. "He is marked by Inyame," he said. "He is born to spin stories and tangle truth. His tongue will carry power." They named him Anansi, after the spider of legend, the one who once tricked gods and men alike. But this Anansi was flesh and blood, with 2 legs and sharp eyes, with a smile that made people nervous. He spoke early, walked quickly, and asked too many questions. His closest companion was Aqua, a girl with a fair stare and feet like pebbles. She didn't speak often, but when she did, it struck like lightning. The two would roam the village, listening, watching, and learning. Proverb: wisdom is like a baobab tree. No one individual can embrace it. But little Anansi was already trying. It was the season of the Kete dry wind, when the land cracked open and the rivers dried. In Adokrum, children grew thin, and mothers chewed on hope like old kola nuts. But Chief Kwaku, the fat belly, sat in his compound, surrounded by yams and grilled tilapia. His storehouse filled with plenty, yet he fed no one but himself. Anansi watched, lip pressed together. "When the drum beats for one, all must dance," he murmured. With Akua's help, he wrapped himself in rags and painted ash on his skin. She gave him her small clay pot, one used for feeding orphans, and he carried it into the chief's palace. "O mighty chief who eats while others dream," Anansi mocked. "Behold, a pot that cooks by stories." "Lies," the chief said, swatting a fly. "Then test it." Anansi told a tale of a turtle who tricked a leopard into planting a feast and forgetting the harvest. As the tale ended, steam rose and fufu with palm nut soup bubbled inside the pot. The chief's eyes widened. "Borrow it," Anansi said, "but beware. If you lie in your story, the pot will bite your tongue." That night, the greedy chief stood before his guards and lied about feeding orphans. His tongue swelled so badly he couldn't even cry for help. "Ebe, help me," Anansi eventually managed to cry. Anansi returned. "Open your stores to the people," he said, "and your tongue will soften." And so he did. Whispers rose from the forest edge. A tree had begun to speak, mocking hunters, teasing warriors, confusing travelers with riddles no one could answer. "It has insulted the chief's guards," someone said. Even Tano the drummer turned back. Tano, the wandering drum keeper, was known across villages. His drum rhymes could summon rain, quiet storms, or stir forgotten memories. If he too turned back, said Akua, then this tree is no joke. Anansi grinned. A tree that talks too much must be silenced. So he went into the forest, but with only palm wine, his wit, and Tano's quiet rhymes. Come closer, little man, said the tree, or are you too small to understand wisdom? Anansi poured the wine beside the root. Ah, Anansi said, if wisdom were measured in size, the elephant would be king of thought. The tree paused. Answer this, O lousy tree. What casts a shadow but has no shape? The tree fell silent. It didn't know the answer. The answer is fear, said Anansi. You know how to speak, but don't know how to learn. Now may you never speak again. And the tree fell into silence and never spoke again. And so the proverb, the silent tree bears the sweetest fruit. High above the world, Inyame, the sky father, stared in his cloud-crowned palace. His messengers had told him of the boy with the web mark. If you are truly wise, he thundered, bring me the wisdom of the world in one basket. Anansi didn't go to the elders or priests. He went to the riverbank where children argued over smooth stones. He watched them tell jokes, settle fights with riddles, and create peace through laughter. He wandered across the village where he found Tano, the drummer, playing a rhyme called The Truth That Works. What are you collecting? Tano asked. Not words, Anansi replied, but wisdom that moves. He returned with a woven basket, not filled with scrolls or proverbs, but with games, songs, jokes, and lessons from the mouth of children. Oh, Inyame, he said, wisdom is not what is hidden, but what is shared from one to another, like a calabash of water shared in the heat. Inyame roared with laughter and joy. You have passed the test. Your name shall be forever tied to wisdom. Proverb, wisdom is not like money to be hidden, but like a drum to be sounded. As the years passed, Anansi's feet grew slow, but his stories flew like rivers in the rain. He taught children to settle quarrels with cleverness, to dodge war with words, and to carry knowledge not in fists but in hearts. He and Akua, now both grey, sat by the old tree still silent. Tano, drum echoes across the hills, carrying Anansi's stories from village to village. Stories are the soul of a people, Anansi whispered one night, and I am woven into them. By morning, he was gone. Some say he became a whispering wind. Others swore they saw a spider weaving patterns in the sunrise. But always, when someone has smart danger or saved a life with a tale, people say, ah, that is Anansi's spirit working. Proverb, the storyteller dies, but the story lives on. Long after Anansi's vanished like dust at dawn, his story still clung to the air like dew on the grass. But they did not rest in silence. They moved, carried by those who had walked with him. Akua, now an elder with silver-threaded braids and a voice like carved wood, gathered children beneath the baobab tree. She did not smile often, but when she did, it felt like rain in dry season. She taught not just stories, but strength. A clever tongue can stop a spear, she would say, but only a brave heart would stand before it. She passed on Anansi's riddles, but also her own. In her hands, the tales no longer just amused. They healed, united, and taught the girls and boys to speak truth even when afraid. Far beyond Adokun, the rhyme of Tano, the drummer, echoed through villages like a heartbeat. He played not for coins, but for memories. At dark, his drum told stories no mouth had spoken. The talking tree's shame, the pot that beat, the laughter of Nyame. He said little, but when he played, people wept, or danced, or both. One day, a child asked him, Uncle Tano, how do you know all these things? He smiled and tapped on his drum. Because I listen when others speak, and I remember when others forget. And so, though Anansi the boy was gone, Anansi the spirit remained, in Akua's fierce words, in Tano's steady rhyme, in every whispered tale that made a child wonder. Final proverb, when a great tree falls, the forest does not grow silent, it listens more closely. So what do you think about my story? Drop it in the comment below, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more stories like this. Thanks for watching.